And we are back once again with another predictions video after yet another week of drama, both on and off the pitch in the Premier League and in European football. Obviously the big story of the week, the result of El Sakiko resulting in, as predicted, the losing manager losing their job. Nuno is no longer the Spurs manager. He has been replaced by Antonio Conte, who made a winning start last night in the Europa Conference League. And going forward, it'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. Obviously, the purpose of this series, though, is to predict Premier League results. So drop a like if you enjoy this series. Let's move in to last week's predictions before we look ahead to this week's games. So here they are. Not gonna lie, I feel like I could have done better in my predictions, but at the same time, there were some major upsets this week if we look at the scorelines here. Arsenal put in a good performance for their 2-0 win away at Leicester. Obviously, Aaron Ramsdale was the main hero, making some outstanding saves. He really looks like he's stepped on. And I'll be interested to see if he gets a chance to play for England this week after the performances he's put in. Certainly considering how Jordan Pickford has been struggling with Everton. I'm not too aggrieved that my prediction didn't come true, because obviously Leicester did have a lot of chances, but Arsenal got the job done. I finally show respect for Brentford, and they go and lose 3-1 away at Burnley, and it really was a comfortable victory for Burnley. So it's almost like the Brentford I've expected to see all season finally turned up. They put in a poor performance, and Burnley got the job done there. Great result for Brighton away at Liverpool. I did think Brighton would give them a game. I said they were impressive against Man City, even though they got beat quite heavily by them. I think Liverpool feel like they could have done better, but good result for Brighton. No complaints there. Man City losing 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace. Again, I did say Palace had a good record away at City, although I didn't expect that to happen. A defensive cock-up at the start, giving them the early lead, and then the red card. I'd say almost ended their hopes, but City was still the dominant force. They just got caught by a counter-attack towards the end, but a fantastic result for Crystal Palace. The one fixture that I said was going to be a guaranteed win, and the only one I did not predict as 3-0 was 3-0, because of course it was. A comfortable win for Chelsea as predicted. 1 point for that one. Watford seemed to just be flip-flopping. Rubbish against Liverpool, brilliant against Everton, and then rubbish again against Southampton. Very, very strange. Claudio Ranieri's still trying to get his feet through the door, but it'll be interesting to see how they get on after their international break, once he's had more time to deal with the squad as a whole. No points for that one. El Sakiko itself, as a Manchester United fan, I was really pleased to see Ollie change the system. I thought he wouldn't, which is why I predicted Tottenham to win the game. But the three at the back worked really well. Cavani and Ronaldo up front together work so well. And I hope and I would expect that that's what he's going to go with this week. Obviously, he didn't in the Champions League, and we really struggled against Atalanta. So I think he'll have to revert back to that. But a great result for Man United to win 3-0 away at Spurs. I was really pleased with that. But obviously, no points for the predictions. Norwich, I said they had to win that game. I think they're in real trouble now. If not, they're already relegated. If you can't win at home to a team of under-23s and Rafinha, I don't really know where else Norwich can go. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. That was a mistake. No points for that. West Ham seemed to go from stride to stride. 4-1 win away at Aston Villa. Yes, there was the red card. Probably should have been 2 red cards, but they looked like they were going to win that game comfortably regardless. So we got a point for that one. And Wolves-Everton, I think again Everton will feel a little bit disappointed, but Wolves were by far the better team. 2-1 win for them in the end. So yeah, as I said, I feel like I probably could have done my predictions a little bit better this week. It's only a 2-point score out of a possible 30. Bringing our season total to 53 so far. On to Game Week 11's predictions. And I really think this is going to be another tough week to predict. I think there's a lot of games here that could go either way. So, could be in front of a low-scoring round, but you never know. This might be one where it gets a little bit complicated and you get a little bit of luck. Starting off with tonight's game, there is a Friday night game for fantasy football fans that haven't done that just yet. We have Southampton against Aston Villa. And this is a really, as I said, it's going to be a tough week. This is the first really tough one to call because Southampton are playing well. Aston Villa have been struggling. But I still feel like player for player, Aston Villa are by far the better team. I don't know if Dean Smith is just struggling to get the chemistry right now that Grealish isn't there to sort of like glue them all together. But in my head, I still feel like Aston Villa should be getting a result here. If it wasn't for their recent form, I'd probably go for an Aston Villa win. However, considering how poor they've been playing and how well Southampton have been playing, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But I would not be surprised in the slightest if that ended up being a Southampton win or an Aston Villa win, depending on which way it goes. On to what is, well, I'd say by far the main event. Obviously got West Ham Liverpool later on, but the Saturday lunchtime game, Manchester United and Manchester City, it is the marquee fixture of the weekend. It is the Manchester derby. And again, it's a really tough one. I think if City beat Crystal Palace and then obviously have their good result against Bruges in midweek, I would be predicting a Man City win. However, that Tottenham game and City's performance against Crystal Palace, as a United fan, has just given me that little bit of hope back again. I've already said how I think Ollie has to stay with the 3-5-2 with Cavani and Ronaldo up top. It looks like Varane and Lindelof will both be out, so for me, you just put Shaw into the back three and play Tellez at left wing back. I think that's the logical way to go. A lot of people suggesting he's going to revert back to 4-2-3-1, which would be a big mistake in my opinion. I'm going to have faith in the team. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Manchester United. But the first goal in this match is everything. If City score in the first 10 minutes, this could go the same way as the Liverpool game and we could get absolutely thumped again. But I think the way we defended against Atalanta initially, I know we conceded, it was a bit of a poor goal from De Gea's perspective. But if Bailly plays the way he played and we get the organisation right, I think we can hold City for quite a while. And obviously, if we play Cavani and Ronaldo, I think they'll have too much movement for Ruben Diaz and John Stones to deal with because obviously Laporte is out. We'll have opportunities to win this game. I'm going to back them 2-1 United, but I can still see City thrashing us. So we'll see. Brentford and Norwich. Now, we just spoke about how Norwich are in real trouble. They're going to have to see this as an opportunity. In the 2 games against Brentford in the Championship last year, they drew away and won at home, Norwich. However, this is now the Premier League. Brentford have established themselves pretty well. Yes, they had that poor performance against Burnley, but they're going to be looking for a response. It's against the bottom club in the league, so I can only see Brentford winning this. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Brentford. But for Norwich's sake, I hope they can get something. I just don't see it. Chelsea and Burnley. Again, we've just spoke about how well Burnley played last week. Sean Dyche seems to be very happy with the way Burnley are playing. He feels they've just been unlucky with some of the results that they've had. For me, though, I still think Chelsea are way too good for Burnley. I might be wrong, but the way Chelsea are playing right now, I can only really see this going one way. I'm going to go for 3-0 Chelsea. I don't think I need to see any more there. Crystal Palace and Wolves, again, is a tough one. Palace, obviously, off the back of that win against City, are going to be full of confidence. And Wolves have really hit their stride, up to 7th in the league, I believe, right now. So they're going to be full of confidence. Another one that could go either way. I was tempted to put this as my 2-2, but I just have a feeling on Crystal Palace this week. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Palace win there. On to the Saturday evening game, we have Brighton and Newcastle. It looks like this is another managerial appointment. Whether or not Eddie Howe will be in charge for this game is unclear. He is yet to be appointed as of the time of recording this morning. So I'm not sure he'll be in charge in time. for this game. More likely he'll be in the stands, and if it is Graham Jones in charge, he's not the best. So, and plus Brighton are playing really well, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brighton win here. I could see that being more than 2-0, if I'm honest with you, but Brighton do seem to struggle to put the ball in the net. So 2-0 for Brighton there. On to the first of 4 Sunday games, we have Arsenal and Watford. Given the way Arsenal have been playing recently, again, I can only see this going one way. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win. I do expect them to win that quite comfortably. I can see Watford nicking a goal. Like I say, they seem to be a little bit inconsistent, but the threats they have with the pacing behind, I can see them causing Arsenal a few problems. And I mean, maybe Ramsdale puts in another blinding performance and Arsenal keep the clean sheet, but I can just see Watford nicking a goal. 3-1. Nothing else to say there. Antonio Conte's return to the Premier League will be at Goodison Park. They are away at Everton. And given the way Everton have played over the last few weeks, I'm actually going to give this one to Spurs. I know they didn't put in the best performance last night in the Europa Conference, winning 3-2. They still seem to be very open defensively, but that is the sort of thing that Conte will drill into them, that defensive effort, that organisation. I don't see Everton being too much of a threat for them. They are clearly missing Abdoulaye Doucouré. It's amazing the difference in performance since he's got injured, and I just think Tottenham edge this. I think they'll have too much quality going the other way. So 2-1 to Tottenham. Leeds and Leicester, again, we have to mention the injury problems piling up for Leeds. It seems right now that the only real fit players are Rafinha and Rodrigo in terms of like real first team quality, and obviously Meslier in goal. And I just think, with that said, Leicester are just going to have far too much for them. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Leicester. Leeds obviously will put up a performance, but I think, Leicester will be far too strong for them. And finally, the last game of the weekend, the Sunday evening game, we have West Ham and Liverpool. And this is also a really tough one to call because we keep saying it. West Ham are putting in performance after performance after performance. David Moyes has got the absolute best out of this team. But on the same time, Liverpool are going to be looking to respond after their performance against Brighton last week. Good performance against Atletico Madrid, but only 2-0 against 10 men. And it looked like they conceded if it wasn't for that offside as well. They've had 2 back-to-back poor performances by the standards they've set this season, and I can see West Ham capitalising on it. However, I'm not bold enough to predict a West Ham win. This is where my 2-2 is going to be for this week. And that will conclude this week's predictions. We are moving into another international break, so we'll have a 2 weeks off after this before we come back again for game week 12. Don't forget to comment down below with your score for the previous week, overall score, and your predictions for this week. Drop a like if you're enjoying the series. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be back after the international break.